Introduction: The Power of Doing It Your Way. Derek Sivers kicks off anything you want with a refreshing, almost rebellious idea. You don't have to follow anyone's rules in business, not even the so-called experts. Your business is your little world, and you're the one who gets to make the rules. That means you can build it to reflect you, your values, your quirks, your style, your mission. He shares how he started CD Baby not because he had dreams of building a startup empire, but because he simply wanted to help some musician friends sell their CDs online. There were no grand plans, no 5-year strategies, and definitely no investors breathing down his neck. Just a desire to solve a real problem for people he cared about. That's where the magic happens, Derek says, when you build something useful, not because you want to get rich, but because you genuinely want to help. It's okay to do it small. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be weird. In fact, being weird is part of what makes your business special. Don't pretend to be a big, slick corporation if you're just one person in a tiny office. Be real. People love real. Most of all, Sivers emphasizes this: you're allowed to create your business to make yourself happy. If you love it, if it feels good, you're doing it right. There's no one correct way to run a business, just your way. So forget the rulebook. Toss the MBA playbook. Listen to your gut, help people, and have fun while you're at it. That's the power of doing it your way. Chapter 1: Start with a useful idea. Let's be honest, most people dream of starting a business for fame, fortune, or some ego boost. But Derek Sivers? He flipped the script. He didn't begin with some master plan or a thirst for millions. He just wanted to help his friends. That's the magic behind start with a useful idea. Derek wasn't chasing a startup unicorn. He was a musician who simply needed a way to sell his CDs online. Back in the late 90s, this was surprisingly hard to do. So, instead of whining about it, he built a solution for himself. And then other musicians said, "Hey, can you help me too?" That was the seed that grew into CD Baby. The point? A business idea doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be useful. Solve a real problem. Help someone. Fill a gap. That's it. Derek didn't sit down with a whiteboard brainstorming that next big thing. He stumbled upon a need and decided to fix it. That's what made it powerful, because it actually helped people. He also makes it clear, starting with something useful is way more sustainable than starting with what's trending or what can make me rich fast. Why? Because when you're genuinely solving a problem, people care. They show up. They spread the word. That's how CD Baby grew, organically, honestly, and without a dollar spent on marketing. So, if you're thinking about starting something, don't obsess over being clever. Don't wait for $1 million idea. Just look around. What bugs you? What bugs your friends? Fix that. Start small. Be helpful. That's how great things begin. Simple, right? That's the Sivers way. Chapter 2: No plan. No problem. One of the best things about Derek Sivers is that he makes not having a plan feel like a superpower. In No Plan, No Problem, Derek confesses that when he started CD Baby, he had absolutely no business plan, none. Zilch. He just wanted to help his musician friends sell their CDs online. That simple act of kindness unexpectedly grew into a company that made millions. Not because he plotted world domination on a whiteboard, but because he took action, listened to his users, and adjusted along the way. Derek's message is refreshingly clear: don't wait to have it all figured out. Too many people think they need a perfect business model, 5-year projections, and investor-ready slides before doing anything. Not true. According to Derek, planning too far ahead can actually trap you. You might lock yourself into a rigid idea and miss out on unexpected opportunities. Instead, he champions the power of improvisation. You start with a tiny step, learn what works, and what doesn't, and evolve from there. It's like walking through fog, you won't see the whole path, but you can always see just far enough to take the next step. That's enough. He also points out something most entrepreneurs need to hear: you don't need permission. You don't need a fancy degree, investors, or anyone's approval. Just start. Build. Learn. Tweak. Derek's story is proof that you can stumble into success by following your curiosity and helping people, not by chasing money or rigid goals. So if you've been frozen by overplanning or analysis paralysis, this chapter gives you a playful nudge and says, relax. Just do the next thing. You'll figure it out. And honestly, that's probably the best plan you'll ever have. Chapter 3, Don't Try to Look Big. Derek Sivers has a simple message in this chapter: stop pretending to be a giant when you're not, because no one actually wants that. When he was running CD Baby, he could have slapped on a fake corporate mask, used vague business jargon, and answered emails with, "We'll get back to you within 2 to 3 business days." You know, the usual, big company, stuff. But instead, he chose to be himself. Just Derek. A real human, talking to real humans. One of the best examples. When customers placed an order, they didn't get some bland, robotic confirmation email. Nope. They got a ridiculously fun message that said their CD was lovingly taken from its plush velvet shelf and placed onto a satin pillow. You get the idea. It was silly, playful, and totally unexpected. But that's the point. It made people smile, and more importantly, it made them feel connected. That's what small businesses can do that big ones can't: feel human. Derek argues that trying to act big makes you blend in, not stand out. Customers love knowing there's a real person on the other end. They like dealing with someone who's reachable, honest, and a little quirky. So instead of wasting energy trying to look professional, just be personal. In the end, your weirdness, your voice, and your authenticity are what make people love you. So don't hide them. Celebrate them. Looking small can be your biggest advantage. Chapter 4, You Don't Need Funding. Let's bust a myth: you don't need investors to start a business. Nope, not even a little. In this chapter, Derek Sivers takes a playful hammer to the startup world's obsession with raising capital. His message? Skip the pitch decks, fancy lunches, and Shark Tank dreams. Just start. When Derek launched CD Baby, he used his own savings, $500 to be exact. That's it. No angel investors, no venture capitalists breathing down his neck, no equity deals. And guess what? It worked. Really well. He grew the business slowly and steadily, like watering a plant, not rocket launching a unicorn. He jokes that people often use "we're raising funds" as an excuse to avoid actually building something useful. But if you're solving a real problem, you can often start small and scrappy. Sell one thing. Serve one customer. Then repeat. The best part? Bootstrapping gives you freedom. No pressure to scale before you're ready. No board meetings. No weird exit strategy talk. Just you, your vision, and your happy customers. You own 100% of the decisions, and the profits. Sivers doesn't say outside funding is evil. It's just often unnecessary. And for many entrepreneurs, especially the creative, freedom-loving types like him, funding can feel like a trap dressed in a suit. He ends the chapter by reminding us that needing less is actually a superpower. If you keep things simple and focus on helping people, money will follow naturally. And if it doesn't? At least you didn't waste time begging for someone else's permission to follow your dream. Chapter 5, Make Yourself Unnecessary. One of the best, and most freeing, lessons Derek Sivers shares in Anything You Want is this: your business should not revolve around you. At first, that might sound strange. After all, you built it, you know it best, and you're probably the face of it. But here's the twist: if your business can't function without you, you don't own a business, you own a job. Derek learned this the hard way. In the early days of CD Baby, he did everything: customer service, programming, shipping, lunch runs. And while that might sound heroic, it was actually a trap. He couldn't take a break without chaos erupting. There were no systems, no delegation, just Derek. Eventually, he realized that freedom doesn't come from control, but from letting go. So he flipped the script. He documented every task he did, step by step, and handed those tasks off to others. He hired smart people, trusted them, and resisted the urge to micromanage. The results? The company ran smoother. His team felt empowered. And Derek could finally breathe. He even took a 6-month break, and the business didn't implode. That's when he knew he'd succeeded. He made himself unnecessary. But don't worry, this isn't about being lazy. It's about designing a business that works without being chained to your every waking moment. Think of it like building a machine that runs beautifully whether you're in the office or on a beach sipping coconut water. So the moral of the story? Work hard to fire yourself from every role. Your future self will thank you. And you might just discover that true success is building something that thrives without you being in the middle of everything. Chapter 6: Care about customers more than yourself. If there's one golden rule in business, Derek Sivers would say it's this: treat your customers like they're your best friends, because they kind of are. In this chapter, he reminds us that your business exists for them, not for you. Every decision, every interaction, every email, should be done with love, care, and a genuine desire to make someone's day better. Sivers doesn't preach this as theory, he lived it. One of the best stories he shares is how CD Baby sent the most over-the-top, hilarious shipping confirmation email. It wasn't boring or corporate sounding. It read like a magical, joyful fairy tale about how your CD was gently taken from its shelf and placed onto a satin pillow. Customers loved it. They shared it. It went viral. Why? Because it felt human. That's the whole point. People don't want to be treated like ticket numbers in a help desk queue. They want connection. Surprise. Delight. When you focus on making your customers happy, not squeezing money out of them, they become your biggest fans, and they'll spread the word for you. Sivers is also clear that this isn't about being fake nice to manipulate people. It's about really caring. That means answering emails quickly, fixing problems fast, and going above and beyond, even if it's not efficient on paper. At the end of the day, this chapter is a joyful reminder: business is personal. It's a chance to make someone's life a tiny bit better. And when you make your customers feel like they matter, magic happens, for them and for you. Chapter 7: The Importance of Saying No. Let's be honest, saying yes feels great. It makes people happy, opens doors, and keeps the energy flowing. But here's the twist: in business and life, saying yes to everything is a fast track to chaos. That's the heart of this chapter. Saying no is a superpower. Derek Sivers learned this the hard way. As CD Baby grew, he was flooded with ideas, requests, partnerships, and awesome opportunities. People came at him with pitches for new features, expansions, joint ventures, you name it. At first, he tried to accommodate everyone, thinking it was the nice or smart thing to do. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Every yes pulled him further away from what he actually wanted to build. CD Baby wasn't created to be a tech empire, it was meant to help independent musicians sell their music easily. That was it. Every added feature or partnership that didn't serve their core mission became a distraction. So he started saying no, politely, clearly, and consistently. And guess what? The business got better. Leaner. Simpler. More focused. And most importantly, it became fun again. Derek's golden rule became: if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. It's a bold filter, but an effective one. You don't owe anyone a yes. Your time, energy, and creative focus are limited. Every no creates space for the right yes. This isn't about being rigid or closed-minded. It's about clarity. The clearer you are about your goals, the easier it becomes to protect them. That's what no really is, a boundary that guards your purpose. So next time an opportunity knocks, pause and ask, does this light me up? If not, smile and say no. Your future self will thank you. Chapter 8, Ideas are just a multiplier. You know that moment when someone says, "Hey, I have $1 million idea," and they expect applause like they just discovered fire. Well, Derek Sivers kindly, and hilariously, explains that ideas are cheap, execution is everything. In this chapter, he lays out a clever little formula to prove his point. Idea times execution equals success. But here's the twist, ideas are only worth something if you actually do something with them. He gives them a value scale from 1 to 20. A so-so idea might be a 1. A brilliant idea? Maybe a 15 or 20. But execution? That's where the real weight is, it gets multiplied from 1 to 100. So let's say you have an amazing idea, worth 15, but your execution is lazy, let's give it a 2. That's 15 times 2 is equal to 30. Now someone else has a decent idea, say, worth 10, but they work like crazy to build it, execution level 100. That's 10 times 100 is equal to 1000. See what happened there? The person with the weaker idea wins big, because they actually did the work. Derek's point isn't to bash dreamers or creative thinkers. He loves ideas. But he wants us to stop worshipping them like they're magical gold nuggets. Instead, roll up your sleeves and make something real. So next time you think, someone should build this, remember, that someone might as well be you. The idea is just your starting point, what you do with it is what counts. Chapter 9, Business is not about you. In this chapter, Derek Sivers gets straight to the point, business is not about you, it's about serving others. So many entrepreneurs get caught up in their egos, their personal goals, or their genius ideas. But at the end of the day, it's your customers who matter the most. If you're constantly thinking about what you want, you're missing the bigger picture, what your customers need and want. Derek shares his own experience with CD Baby, where he went beyond just making a product. He focused on what made musicians' lives easier, whether that meant going the extra mile in customer service or simply giving them an experience they'd remember. One memorable moment was when CD Baby sent hilariously detailed order confirmation emails, and customers loved it. The company didn't try to look professional, it just cared deeply about the people it served. The key takeaway? When you shift your focus from yourself to your customers, everything falls into place. The joy comes from knowing you've created something that makes people's lives better, not from building a massive business empire. Derek suggests asking yourself, how can I make my customers' lives easier, and going from there. If you get that right, success will follow, without the stress and ego-driven hustle. So, remember, business isn't about you. It's about helping others, listening to their needs, and solving problems in ways that only you can. Simple, but powerful. Chapter 10, Delegate, but don't abdicate. In the chapter, Delegate, but don't abdicate, from anything you want, Derek Sivers shares a super valuable lesson on how to grow a business without losing control. The core message is that delegation is crucial, but you can't just throw the reins to someone else and walk away. You've got to keep an eye on things, set up systems, and hold people accountable. It's like throwing a party and asking a friend to handle the music. Sure, you trust them, but you don't just ignore the whole event. You still check in, make sure everything's on track, and make sure everyone's dancing to the right tunes. If you delegate too much, without a clear system or oversight, things can spiral out of control. That's the danger of abdication, when you completely step away and hope everything works out. Derek talks about how he ran CD Baby with a small, dedicated team, and even though he delegated most tasks, he remained involved in the key decisions. He built a culture of responsibility, where everyone knew their role but also understood the bigger picture. He wasn't a micromanager, but he was always present and ensured the company stayed true to its core values. So, the takeaway here is, you can't do everything yourself, but you also can't just drop the ball. Delegate tasks, but stay engaged. Check in, ask questions, and make sure your vision is still on track. This way, you grow the business without losing the magic that made it great in the first place. Chapter 11, When to Sell or Move On. In the chapter, When to Sell or Move On, Derek Sivers shares a fun and insightful perspective on knowing when it's time to step away from your business. It's not about reaching some arbitrary milestone or waiting for a big payday, it's about understanding when your passion starts to wane, and the business no longer excites you. Derek was the founder of CD Baby, an online store for independent musicians, and he eventually sold the company for $22 million. The reason? He realized he wasn't passionate about running the business anymore. It wasn't the money, but the lack of enthusiasm that made him realize it was time to move on. He describes how the day-to-day tasks, which once filled him with joy, began to feel more like a chore. The key takeaway here is to listen to yourself. If your heart isn't in it anymore, that's the sign it's time to exit. The idea isn't to hold on to a business out of pride or fear of losing what you've built. Instead, Derek encourages entrepreneurs to make decisions based on your current feelings and the direction you want your life to go in. Don't be afraid to sell or step away when it no longer fits your personal vision. And hey, sometimes walking away opens doors to new opportunities, as it did for Derek. So, when to sell? When you stop loving the business and start dreading it. When to move on? When you've grown beyond it and are ready for a new adventure. The process should feel exciting, not burdensome. Chapter 12, Success is Personal. In the chapter, Success is Personal, Derek Sivers makes a bold statement: success is whatever you want it to be. He shares how the traditional idea of success, having tons of money, fame, and big accomplishments, doesn't fit everyone. For Derek, success wasn't about building a billion-dollar company, it was about living life on his terms. For example, when he sold CD Baby for $22 million, it wasn't because he was obsessed with wealth. In fact, he didn't even want the money. What he really wanted was the freedom to choose his next adventure without the weight of managing a huge company. The real lesson here is that success is not one size fits all. Derek explains that success should align with your values and what makes you happy. It could mean having a small, manageable business that gives you time for family and hobbies, or it could mean working on something that makes a difference, even if it's not the most profitable. The key takeaway: don't measure your success based on society's standards. Instead, create your own definition. It's all about what feels right for you, whether it's financial independence, personal happiness, or helping others. At the end of the day, Derek's message is clear: success is personal. Don't chase other people's goals, focus on what brings you joy and fulfillment. As long as you're true to yourself, you're on the right track. Chapter 13, You Can't Please Everyone. In the chapter, You Can't Please Everyone, Derek Sivers makes a simple yet powerful point: trying to appeal to everyone is a surefire way to water down your business and lose your identity. He explains that when you try to make everyone happy, you end up spreading yourself too thin, and your product or service becomes less unique. Derek shares how he learned this lesson firsthand with CD Baby. Instead of trying to cater to every type of musician, he focused on helping independent artists, those who were truly passionate about their craft but didn't have the resources to get their music out there. By narrowing his focus, he was able to build a stronger connection with his target audience, giving them exactly what they wanted. He also points out that personal preferences matter. By staying true to what he valued and focusing on the people who aligned with that vision, Derek created a loyal community. And this loyalty, not mass appeal, was what helped CD Baby thrive. The key takeaway: don't be afraid to carve out your own niche. Whether it's in business or life, you'll always face critics or people who just don't get what you're doing. But as long as you're staying true to yourself and serving the people who really care, you'll be just fine. So, the next time someone tells you to widen your audience or change your message to appeal to more people, remember, you can't please everyone. And that's okay. In fact, it might just be the secret to your success. Chapter 14, Don't Forget Why You're Doing This. In this chapter, Derek Sivers shares one of the most important lessons he learned while running CD Baby: never lose sight of why you started in the first place. He emphasizes that it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind, sales targets, growth, expansion, and all those shiny distractions. But if you forget the deeper purpose behind your business, you risk losing the essence that made it special. Sivers reflects on how, in the early days, his goal was simple: to help independent musicians sell their music online. It wasn't about becoming a billionaire or building a massive empire, it was about supporting a community he cared about. As CD Baby grew, he could have gotten sucked into chasing money, scale, or success as defined by others. Instead, he kept coming back to the why: helping musicians and doing work that aligned with his values. He warns against getting bogged down by external pressures, whether from customers, competitors, or even your own ego. When you stop checking in with your core purpose, it's easy to veer off track and build something that feels out of alignment with what truly matters to you. Derek's advice: keep your why front and center. Revisit it often. When you have clarity on your purpose, it guides every decision and helps you build a business that not only works, but feels right. So, take a step back and ask yourself, why did I start this? Don't let the noise drown out the passion and purpose that got you here in the first place. Chapter 15, Trust, Honesty, and Generosity Win. In this chapter, Derek Sivers focuses on the ultimate business strategy: be trustworthy, honest, and generous. It sounds simple, right? But it's often overlooked in the race to make a profit. Sivers reflects on how, during his time running CD Baby, he built deep relationships with customers by being transparent and giving them more than they expected. One of the key points is that generosity doesn't just mean giving money, it can be about offering a helping hand, being kind, and showing genuine care for people. For example, CD Baby went beyond just selling CDs. Derek and his team would write personal, humorous emails to each customer confirming their order. Customers were so delighted that they felt like they were part of something special. This kind of personal touch is priceless in today's world of automated customer service. Then there's honesty. Sivers emphasizes that being upfront and honest builds trust. This trust, in turn, turns customers into lifelong fans who keep coming back because they believe in your integrity. Ultimately, this chapter teaches that business isn't just about chasing profits, it's about building relationships that last. When you treat people with respect and generosity, they'll return the favor by trusting you and sticking with your business. So, forget about being a corporate robot, be real, be kind, and the success will follow. Conclusion: make it anything you want. In the final chapter, Derek Sivers leaves us with a refreshing truth: you can shape your business any way you want. There's no formula for success, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. He emphasizes that there's no need to follow a prescribed path or chase conventional business ideas. Instead, create something that reflects your own values, interests, and what you enjoy doing. Sivers shares his own experience of building CD Baby by focusing on what mattered to him: helping independent musicians. It wasn't about maximizing profit or impressing investors, it was about creating something that made him happy and fulfilled a real need. He stresses that personal fulfillment and purpose are the true markers of success, not the traditional business goals of growth at all costs. He also reminds us that the journey is about taking action, learning as you go, and making decisions that feel right for you. Forget the endless research or the pressure to look big. Be yourself, treat your customers well, and enjoy the ride. Sivers also points out that while business is important, it should never overshadow what truly matters to you. For him, it was never about the money, it was about freedom, joy, and doing work that aligned with his passions. So, in a nutshell, Sivers wraps up his book with a liberating message: you can build your business any way you want, just make it yours and enjoy the process. Who says there's only one way to succeed?